In this video, I'm going to share with you some ideal responses to inappropriate behaviour. Before we start, I'd like to introduce the theory that behaviour has 4 purposes. It is either to seek attention, to gain power, to seek revenge, or to withdraw from a situation. When we identify what our children or our students here at St Mary's are seeking to do with their behaviour, we are more likely to work out what consequences that the children need at any given time. To prevent inappropriate behaviour, we need to look at our expectations. We need to ensure that expectations either at home or at school are consistent, and identify with our children or our students how we wish for them to behave in any given situation. When we look at positive behaviour reinforcements, we're talking about the language of encouragement, how we give them positive reinforcements, and how we ensure that these are linked to the expectations we wish for our children to have. Our consequences, however, also need to be related to these expectations, highlight what the children are or are not doing, and then identify consequences which are logical, realistic, and related to the behaviour that the children are exhibiting. When we talk about consequences, we need to ensure that these are realistic, logical, and given in a timely manner. We take into account the child's age and the stage of development that they are at. If consequences are illogical, not related to the behaviour, or punitive, we are likely to see more of this behaviour being exhibited by a child throughout different experiences or in different situations. Consequences that are linked to a social situation need to identify with the child what it is they have done wrong or have acted inappropriately with, and then include things like removal from the situation, missing out on an activity, or not being able to use that piece of equipment, for example, that the child was acting inappropriately with. An example of this would be if a child was using a piece of equipment inappropriately, whether that be their Lego or something in the kitchen, something in the school or in the classroom, like a ruler or pencils. We would then sit with the child when they're able to engage with us and not in the middle of a tantrum or meltdown, and explain to that child really briefly that they were not using the equipment appropriately or for the purpose which it was intended, and then highlight that this equipment will be taken away for a period of time that is related to their age or stage. Another way to deal with inappropriate behaviour is to have a series of steps that reinforce good behaviour, move to time for a child to refocus away from the behaviour, and then removal from the situation altogether. The times at which the child is asked to move away and refocus, or that they are removed from the situation, again depends on their age and stage of development. Therefore, a 5-year-old child might spend 3 minutes refocusing, and then they might be removed from a situation for a total of 5 minutes. Of course, serious inappropriate behaviour that is physical or violates a right for self and others needs to be dealt with differently. We find that these behaviours are best dealt with taking into account the individual needs or issues that that child is facing at any given time. We know then that behaviour will improve when all are aware of the expectations in a given situation, and that the consequences given for inappropriate behaviour are timely, reflective of the situation, and logical to the child's age and stage.